Hello, good evening and welcome to the Super League. I'm back. I hope you missed me. There's a full evening's entertainment in store, but I hope you'll indulge me just sort of 45 seconds to a minute just to say something quite important. And anyone who happened to catch the beginning of my Fools Rush In podcast on Friday will know what's coming. But in an age where some people will be sitting down shortly to watch a YouTuber fight a Love Island star, all in the name of sport. I just wanted to pass a message of condolence to the friends and family of someone who is a true legend. Earlier this week, we lost an inspirational voice in John Motson, a voice of many generations, and someone who was very important to me when I knew from a very early age I was always going to be too fat, too slow, and not talented enough to play the game we all love to a high level. I knew I wanted to do sports media, whether that be writing for the local paper or getting on BBC Sport or Sky Sports News, and even threw my hand at commentary locally a little bit when I was a teenager too. So I'm sure, and ultimately, as I'm in charge of the controls tonight, I don't care if anyone is bothered. I'm just going to have just 30 seconds to remember the legend that was Motty. I'm pleased to say joining me tonight is Mr. Rocks. He is here. He is in the studio. And there we go. Champ is on the screen as well. How are you, sir? Welcome back to the Super League.
I don't know quite how to follow that. I don't know if that's kind of from one iconic voice to another. Is that kind of segue into me? But
yeah.
I'm good. I'm very good indeed. Looking forward to this. As long as we can score a fucking goal tonight.
Well, that is key, and it's been an interesting start to the season. If I can, I actually would like to start on the international stage with what the Mr. Megahorse was up to. Starting with the under-21 side the other day, running out 7-1 winners away at Ivory Coast. I know you were enjoying what his predecessor, Mr. Savage, was doing, and now Dan's in there doing bits as well. I'm sure you'll appreciate random arrows going in all sorts of directions. And looking forward to maybe a few different names that we don't always talk about in the Super League and a few abstract formations.
Yeah, look, I'll be completely honest. Early last week, I messaged the Super League account to say, can we control the reserve teams so that we can pick who's getting played and therefore who develops? So for that reason, I love this. Because see for the likes of Jafar, he's a bonkers player, right? I picked him in the draft because he's got 20 for crossing, 20 for passing, 18 for flair, 19 for set pieces. If you play him from day one, you can get a good player out of him. He's like this random player that you like. If you buy him like season 3 and he's never moved out of Lebanon where he starts, he's useless. So getting him playing now, he might be pickable at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's certain players that we want to play and stuff like that. So I love it. Like there's players in here. I'll be honest. Who the fuck's Fernando? Is he that random Brazilian? He's a DMC that starts in Brazil. Don't like him very much, but yeah, great, cool. This guy I quite like. Cisse is quite handy. It's good to see some different names in there, and then hopefully a couple of seasons on, these are guys that are playing all the time. I think Risp's one of ours actually. I'd forgotten he was there. I'd forgotten we had him, but apparently he's actually.
He looks good as well.
Yeah, he's not bad. Lovely.
And then, of course, the matters of the first team, really not quite as emphatic. Performance, though, superb.
Yes.
3-0 win with the same formation. And it's crucial for me that the under-21s are playing the same formation as the first team for that progression to the international stage. But again, in a way that you'd only expect from whether you refer to him as Mega Horse or as Bibbins. I know it's the reserve players that are still available to him, but not necessarily some of the names you'd expect when you see the likes of Bode in there and Saymac getting a run out as well.
No, I mean there's plenty of decent players there. Teneto's one that I've seen various people using, and people are always after wing backs. I don't know where he is at the moment. Andre was really good last save in goal, so I don't know if he's one that somewhere. So he's at full chest. I mean, last season Fulchester used about 7 different goalies. All of them were shite and ended up back at Abbiati, who was the shitest of them all. So, but he's one that I could see going at some point. Someone will get Palermo at some point. I'm surprised Emerton's there. Because
yes, so was I.
Yeah, I thought he's played 2 league games for Badgers.
I'm guessing
because he's actually Australian. Is it like a token thing?
I'm guessing maybe he wasn't in the very first, because I think these games were played early in the season, so maybe he wasn't in the very first 24 and has since been called up potentially.
Aye. Well, yeah, he moved late because we were in discussions with Badgers about shifting someone to them for the right-hand side, and then he signed Emerton, and to be honest, it was best for all parties because what we wanted from him, we weren't getting. He was going to get someone probably not as good as Emerton for the right. So
Tato explaining it, I didn't put him on my graphic. It's the reason he got called up to the Australian squad, and I wasn't asked if he used him or not. What I do want to ask you about, as we again look at this, and crucially for Dan, all 3 of his starting strikers scored. When you look at this, I want you to tell me about Daniel Jimenez, because not a player that I know that you were championing, and when I got to take Haggis on their continental adventure, my God, did I have some fun with him.
So I think I've talked about this before, right? Like, everyone's got their favourite players.
Look at those figures from last season, by the way, in competitive football.
I obviously, I've got this big thing about Mason Javin. Mm-hmm. Like, Jimenez is another one where you can buy him for comparative buttons at the start of the game, but you can buy him for, I don't know, say like Napoli or someone like that in Serie B, stick him up front, he's going to score barrel loads of goals. He's just fun because he's just, like his stats suggest, he's a big lump. You can get him for under 500 grand. You can use him for 2 or 3 seasons and he's going to keep scoring. He's just fun. Like some players that just grab you and you're like Tato with Fucini. He's got an obsession with them. I don't understand it, but he probably looks at Daniel Jimenez and is like, Like, you know what I mean? It's just one of these players that's grabbed me, and it's like, same with Jafar, same with a few of the guys that I've picked, that Haggis now have actually. Where you just pick them, and it's like, they're fun. I like him.
No, it makes sense. I'm the same. Obviously, this time round when this save was being built, I did a Fyfie's favourite draft column, and there's loads of players dotted around the sides that are never ever going to get him. Danny Invincible. I would love to see the Invincible get 1 game in the Super League.
It won't be for Haggis.
But there's all sorts of. I think Fraser Bremner's in there somewhere.
Yeah, because I was like, who the fuck's he?
I love him. Do you know what? So I was bored after the League Cup final today, and I put on Twitter on my Swindon Devils account that I just need to play some champs. So I'd set all this up ready. And I just went on. I thought, what can I click through? Doesn't take much thinking about. So I thought, I know. I'll do a double international save where I'm doing England and Scotland at the same time and just click through. Yeah. And first Scotland team, I just called him up. Like, he's not playing, but he's just in the Scotland squad just for a laugh. Like, he comes off the bench for Barry Ferguson after about 80 minutes.
Aye.
Just for laughs.
It's weird. It's like, because everyone's got these different players that they love, and there's some of them, like, it's great to, like, I remember when I think it was Boise suggested Mark Antony to me one day, and I'm like, I think I've signed him before, maybe once, and then he was like, play him in AMC, chucked him in AMC, had barrel loads of fun with him, love signing them occasionally, but it's always these random players you find yourself that you're then just like, there's another, like, we haven't got him, I've got him in the shit league. There's a defender in my reserves called Biagione who starts in, I think, again, the Argentinian second division. So a couple of times I've had him where he's become a monster, like best defender in the game, and 8 out of 10 times he'll be shite. But those 2 times, you'll get 15 seasons out of him, and you'll be amazing, and it's all your own work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I did much the same when he was doing the latest redesign of that. I went on and kind of did a player search, and I didn't want I wasn't looking in Europe. I was looking in like Japan and Colombia and places like this to try and find some rogue players just to put in the team.
South America's like catnip to me.
I suppose, I mean, we could talk all night about random players from Elgin and Serie C. But let's talk Super League before we lose all the audience to the YouTube versus Love Island fight.
Get fucked if you're watching that, by the way. If you're watching that, tune out of this, delete your Twitter, resign from the Super League, and go and find a pair of curling tongs and take them to your pubes and keep on rolling until your ball sack wraps round, and just as you clamp them shut, think about your life decisions.
We're obviously only 2 games in. What I found interesting, despite there being a couple of teams obviously winless, nobody has lost both games, which already gives an indication as to how close this could be this season. Burn and Fulchester, the only teams to win both games. The team affectionately referred to as Bostock Swanley, the only other unbeaten side. Again, only a couple of games in, but from what you've seen, is there anyone that's impressed you or surprised you in a negative way in the opening couple of games, or do you normally give it a few before you start making those sorts of statements?
See, I was having a similar chat with Campbell about this, because I'll be honest, since Friday, there's been that many messages back and forth about, should we try this guy? Should we try this guy? Should we try this guy? Now, there have been a couple of interesting changes for Haggis tonight. A couple of random reserves that I think people are going to be like, what the fuck are you picking him for? But I was trying to say to them, we're literally 2 games in. We actually have, with the squad that we've got, we have to fling a bit of shit at the wall to get it to stick. I'm going to be honest, one of the sides that I like, just seeing him popping into the chat there, Casuals, I think, did well away to Fulchester first week, and then a good win last time out as well against Gazelles. They're a funny one. They shouldn't have missed out on the playoffs last year, but their first team's as good as anyone. Particularly if they score. I thought they might struggle to score goals, but Clivert's firing. So yeah, I think in a way, I'm interested. You've got Celtics versus PPP tonight, which might end up in some kind of small nuclear explosion in the southwest of England. I'm interested in Greavesy, because Greavesy's formation is what...
It's horrific.
See, the thing is, I play that a lot on home saves. Or I did until I went full 1 at the back, full nuts. It was the 2-3 and then the wide 3 with an AMC and a striker. And it's so effective in a home save. And I'd heard rumours about it being played kind of before I started following Super League and going very, very wrong. And I'm sitting there going, how? Because it's really, really good. And more teams are now going 3 DMCs as well. It's like flicking back to 5 seasons ago. So, be interesting to see. Seeing some of the different formations is as interesting as anything. Because I think a couple of folk have maybe stuck with the same stuff as last year. We've already, Haggis have already had to change it. Because what we did last season isn't working.
No. So. But it's always there to revert back to if needed. So I'm going to, Ghost Games permitting, as I always put the little caveat out there, I'm going to do Haggis Gazelles last, as you're on. And I know that Ian's asked you to do subs in his absence.
I know, we've got a fucking horrific record against Gazelles as well. So cheers for that, Campbell.
No worries. Dimble has messaged to ask for a late game, which doesn't really matter, as Ryan, I saw in the chat, said he's at a gig. And so won't be watching anyway. So we'll do Coast and Fulchester fairly late on anyway. And as for the rest, we'll just play them in any random order. As Hoddy said, I've never succeeded with the narrow free DMC in the Super League.
This is what I'm interested in, because now that there's a lot more people trying it, and for me, I've always sworn by it on home saves, but I don't know if it works. I mean, I've had decent success with it in the shit league, but obviously there's been some caveated rules around that about like numbers at the back and stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll see. Vikings early is always a good shout.
Vikings
Agreed.
early, I'm happy to do that. You know, respect to Jens for the time difference. So let's start with the home side. He has had to drop one player down to the reserves, which was Romoshenko. And anyone paying attention to the ticker along the bottom will see the currently injured Rockenbach has been released and will be available on a free transfer as of tomorrow.
Acceleration 3. Fuck me. They're sitting on a sedan chair.
Subs wrong. Let me just check.
By the way, can I put something to object to here?
You can.
Like week after week after week in the chat, people's games come up and they go, "Oh, I'm going to lose 3-0. No, you're going to smash me 3-0. For fuck's sake, actually go, I'm going to fucking batter you.
Yeah.
And if you lose, live with it, right? Enough of this, oh, you're so good, you're going to beat me 4-0. Who gives a fuck?
Then. He is right.
Be positive about it. Right. I like this from Jens. I really liked his business because he's, like, if you look at what his draft squad was to what he's got now, he's performed miracles. Should he be in 11th? I mean, it's 2 games in, so the place in the table means nothing.
Yep.
A win here. He's got a solid squad, good defense. DMCs. I actually thought Katskovich, who played at the back end of last year, was decent. I wonder if he might play a bit more. I know there's this whole thing about the shittest Robin in the world or whatever. Fuck that. Robin's good.
Mm-hmm.
Totti and Estebaria should be good there. And Penza. It's a good team. I like it.
Absolutely. It's an interesting one. As the player at Bern gets all the attention, I've been watching on with interest for the last couple of seasons, and Penza failing to live up to the scenario from sort of seasons 10 backwards.
And listen to a Swindon Devils story time.
No, I'm not. Oh. I'm merely referring to the fact that he has had good goal scoring records in the first sort of, for the most part, between seasons sort of 3 and 10 of the Super League. But the last couple, it's been a bit quiet. How do you get the best out of him, in your opinion?
Fuck knows, never signed him. Genuinely. I don't fucking know.
Okay. What do you make of so what I do like, and I've taken a step back and not been as involved this time round, so it's been interesting for me to review the squad, see who's who. What I do like is you've got your obvious players like your Totties and your Robins in the side. I like that Duff is still getting a go as a champ legend. Walker in there as well. Despite all the big moves going across throughout the league, Walker is still in there.
Yeah.
And also you can see the development in sides. Everyone knows that the quality that players like Addo have. But he wasn't used as much maybe as expected last year. But now again, he's back in the first team in season 2.
Yeah, look, there's all of these. I think, and look, I'm probably pushing it too far with Haggis, but there are plenty of players in the game that weren't big names at the time that are absolutely better than a whole chunk of players that are in the league. 100%. So why not use them?
I agree, and I think that is one of the bonuses that the new leadership group, for want of a better phrase, allowing constant alterations between the reserves. It might allow some more players to,
definitely. Other than Bernardo Romeo, because I think he's shit.
Well, he has got a place on the bench today. Yeah. Last time out, they drew 1 apiece with Triple P, and in this save against Dragons, that's not a great record for Vikings.
That's weird because it's got played 4, 1-3, no draws, no... What?
Yes, I saw that, which I'm guessing...
Oh, is it because there's a...
That would have been 1...
Playoffs?
Yeah, I'm guessing so. And Dragons would have won.
Bug.
First bug of the night. Anyway, let's move on to Dragons. Who? You asked for a Swindon Devils story. And there's obvious ones to tell about Dragons, and I'm not going to tell those. What I am going to say is imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Duggan has cited that the minus the famous diag that Fyfie doesn't seem to have. Duggan has stated the reason for this is due to necessity with all the players that have been decimated from his squad already.
This might explain. I now understand slightly more the conversations that were had. Well, I can't remember. I think it was before Friday. I know that Dragons asked Campbell about one of the Haggis midfielders, and we said no, and it ain't going to happen. You can't, you can paint a pig whatever colour you like. It's still a pig, and we ain't having it for what you're asking for. But I now understand maybe why they wanted him a bit more. Losing those two players is massive. Like, to be fair, considering they got Ndai for like 20p in a packet of fags, losing them for 3 months is kind of like, well, a little bit of bounce. But Bowyer, I love Bowyer. I think Bowyer is great, and losing those two is massive for them. That said, Kaluzhny's decent. They need, I'm guessing Zidane must be due back soon. I like Fyfie. I think Foy's a great player. So yeah, look, it's a big test for them. They've still got one of the better. I mean, you look at that attacking four. There's a lot of goals in that.
There's a lot of letters as well.
Yeah, Egiog got an 8 last time out, which was astonishing to me. Yeah, look, they've still got a lot of good players, but losing those two is massive. But even if they can kind of hobble through until halfway through the season, you then saw what they did last year and just went on a massive.
Well, I was going to say, if they lose this, then again, questions will already start to be asked, but it won't phase them because, as you just said, you saw what they did last season and it's irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they can still be kind of on the periphery halfway through the season, they'll be quite happy. They know that they can fly. And yeah, Maniero coming in is good signing.
Reyes in the first team this year as well.
Great. Who cares? If they're playing is he? Have they trained him as Have they trained him as central?
Yeah, they did that last season.
Oh, you know what? That's a cracking move. Like that. I don't mind the odd AML left wing back, but yeah, I guess that makes him viable as a little left-hand side of the three. Clever. Like it.
Right, we've been going for 25 minutes and not played any football yet. So let me ask you for a prediction, get the chat thrown in some predictions, and let's get game one underway.
Is this the point where I start Colombo?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, I'm going to predict that Colombo finds the murderer and we have a 2-2 draw.
Lovely. 2-2 draw in the studio. And we are off and running. Primal reversion mode, says Wooder. Evening, gents. Evening, Mike. Forgot Sunday was a 9 p.m. start. What? People haven't been started. I know Duggan started.
Well, it's not really later. A 9 p.m. start because it's now half 9 and we're playing the first game. But what you have missed, frankly, was unmissable entertainment.
Half an hour on the clock, still 0-0 in the very difficult to read derby.
Game, though, I think.
Yeah, it does look like a good game. And there's Mpenza on 43 minutes, giving the home side the lead. Could be 2 before the break, possibly. Ronaldinho gets booked. And it's half time.
Yeah.
You said, just as we were approaching, it looks a decent game, and then Mpenza scores late.
Yeah.
And it would appear that the home side have had the advantage in that first. Mike's saying he'll watch the intro back at the end.
Honestly, phenomenal. If you saw my tweet last night, you could slot our 25 minutes into Frasier season 5 seamlessly. It would stand up to the test of time.
Looking at the stats here, the thing that sort of jumps out at me, Desai doing a strong job in the centre of the park, and most of what Vikings doing actually going through Etsabaria, not so much Totti as maybe you'd expect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, it's good. Both defenders at the back are winning. They've lost 1 tackle between them.
Yep.
Interestingly,
haven't had to do anything in the air. But that's because Desai is just snapping everything up before it gets that far.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's good. Like, again, I think... Oh, my good God. What the hell's happened? Well, so Nesta's finally done something and made as many tackles as the Viking centre-halves combined.
Yeah.
Ugo's reverted to being shit because he is. And
And
I love
Fyfie,
Ugo.
who we both said that we like, has decided to not turn up.
Oh, that was always going to happen. It's Juan Gomez syndrome. I guess maybe looking at the front four, 3 of them are on 6s.
But they're not creating much, are they? That's why.
No, one key pass, and that's from your centre back.
Let's see what either of the managers will do. Looking at the subs benches, what do Dragons do? Do they try and stiffen up the defence to stem the flow of Vikings attacks, or do they look to Reyes to change the tide?
For Dragons, I think they maybe just revert back to their normal shape, cobble together a central midfield and go with what they usually do.
Okay, so Jens is going as is till 60. Duggan's saying AMs, arrows off the AMs, DMs up the halfway, small arrow.
So arrows on the 2 central ones, yeah.
I guess that's what it means, not move them up central and then add a small arrow.
Yeah, I mean, it works with what they've got.
Yeah. I'll just let Duggan confirm that, and it's not the other thought that you move the players up with an arrow before we carry on. If this is the changes...
Wait, DMs up the... Sorry, wingbacks. What does that mean?
Wingbacks are... Oh, like
2
this.
2 seconds, mate. Sorry, someone's calling me, which is a bit odd.
Yeah, no worries. I think he means like this. This is why I like to check and not just confirm. Always good to be back in the hot seat at Cmsl. Cheers, fella. No worries at all, pal. While Rox takes his call, let's maybe that's one of the chairmen of the Super League clubs looking for a new boss already. Let's go to 60 then with that change from Dragon, see if it has the required effect. Would have saying that looks shocking. And it's all Vikings at the minute. Can they get this crucial second? You feel Dragons will get into it sooner rather than later. Good to have you back, Fyfie, mate. It's good to be back, Tato. Thank you. I'll be here every other Sunday. Nice you two getting along. What, me and Rox or Wooder and Duggan? So we have stopped at 60, still 1-0 to the home side. Performance-wise, a lot to like from Vikings. They have looked like they've dominated. No real fitness concerns either. Welcome back, mate. Welcome back.
I'm back.
I was just surmising that maybe it was one of the chairmen of the Super League clubs after just 2 games, maybe sounding out a potential new manager.
Who's sounding out a new manager? What?
Your phone call might have been from a chairman of a Super League club sounding out a new manager.
Nothing that exciting.
No.
Nothing that exciting. Is it still 1-0?
It is still 1-0 at the hour mark, yes. I was just saying, performance-wise, there's a lot to like about Vikings. They did look like they dominated the 15 minutes or so until the break.
This is like... Totti's a funny one, right? There's loads of people don't like him and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There's sometimes where, and I kind of thought this with Gazelles last year with Petrov playing for them, there's some players who they might only get a 7 every week, but see if you take them out, rubbish. There's a couple of players, again, home save players that I use who might, like, they'll be the lowest averaging rating players in the team, but I'm quite happy to have them because they sit in, like, you just win more with them, like Velas, who I've gone on about sometimes. It's like inexplicable. You'll just get 7, like, game and game and game, end up averaging 7.4, but you'll win all your games with them. I don't understand why.
I know exactly what you mean. I don't know if you saw it there. So Jens made the one change. Bishkan coming on for Addo. Looking at the Dragon side, Fyfie still on a 5 and now on a yellow card. Is he running the risk of a red, do you reckon?
You might as well run with it. They've got plenty of DMCs that can come in. Do you want me to read that all out?
No, it's all right. Fyfie, I'm good at this now. I've had plenty of practice.
You're a pro.
Fyfie for Tudor and Lone DM.
So
Collision's going up there.
Yes,
LYP for
a more traditional.
Are
they going 5 across the middle?
LYP for Sikoviak. Yeah. Stick him central MC with Koluzhny. Yeah. Small diag arrow on LYP. I'm guessing that way.
And then
Back
for
for Reyes.
Yeah.
Right, so they must straighten up. Back for Reyes. Our usual 2 AMCs with Reyes on the left of the two. Would you like any arrows on these two, Duggan, before I confirm? See, I may have had a couple of weeks off, but I'm still able to just about make out what people want.
That was flawless.
Thank you.
C'est magnifique.
And yes, he also wants arrows on these pair. Lovely. So now you've seen the changes, 30 minutes to go. Do you think that will change things for Dragons now?
Maybe. Don't know. Let's see.
Let's see, indeed. Half an hour to go, then still 1-0 to the home side, and Dragons have rolled dice. And they got a penalty, and Constantinu scores to make it one apiece. But Vikings through Cannavaro.
Cannavaro's just lobbed by it.
And Dragons, Constantinu's got another. And suddenly this game has shot into life. 2 apiece, 15 minutes to go. My co-commentator's choking on excitement.
I can't believe I've just seen Cannavaro lob Victor Bayer.
Into the final 10 minutes. Here comes Walker. Free kick to the home side. Totti has a go. Deflects. Cannavaro picks it up, but Dragons will hold the pressure. 83 now on the clock. Bishkan tries to come forward, but Constantinu, he gets the ball back. It's out with Lizarazu now. And Desai gets away with a warning. And Penza heads the ball clear. 5 minutes to go.
Ooh,
is there a winner in this?
Oh,
Etzeberia now. Robin. 4 minutes being added on. Cafu goes past Robin. And it's Cafu again. Free kick to the Dragons. Ronaldinho to take it. And Constantinu looking for his hat trick. And Penza put him off. And here come Vikings again. But suddenly Dragons all over their host. Etzeberia though. Free kick to the home side. Totti to take it. Vikings get a corner. Into injury time. Reyes gathers the loose ball. Another fantastic tackle. Reyes! Oh. And there's the final whistle. It looked like Vikings were in complete control. The tactical change happened. And suddenly there was a tense ending and a 2-2 draw in game number 1.
Belter. Aye, good game. Great changes from Dragons. Vikings maybe, you look at that. Vikings have had 26 free kicks. Granted, 14 of them were for offsides. So Constantinu goal hanging to the max. Yeah, look, good game. Good game. Both sides, you're looking at that. If you're Dragons, you're going, right, maybe we know what we did wrong. I'm not really a huge fan of sides that have got that gap between DMC and AMC.
Yeah,
I think it's a struggle. But they fixed it. And Vikings played well as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's look at the home side first then. Desai there, one of 2 players rating a 9 alongside Klompe. Surprising, conceding 2 goals, just how good the defensive ratings in this side are, really.
Well, Cannavaro got an assist and a goal, but didn't make a tackle after half-time. So he just decided to go rogue. Yeah, it was good. Just a good game. Cypriot waiter. Constantinu's quality. I would take him every day of the week. I think he's great. He does the business. He scored goals last year as well. He's better than some of the so-called elite strikers.
Absolutely. Much better scoring record. Nesta gets man of the match for his performance. Substitutes, as you say, you look at what they contributed, and it's almost like they themselves may not have been key protagonists. It's them as part of the tactical change that was almost the elite thing here.
You don't often see a player come on, get an assist, and get a 6.
No,
but you know what? Fair enough. The changes they made worked. I thought Cafu had done. It seemed to be everywhere at one point and ends up with a 7. But when you shift 2 guys that are allegedly defenders to midfield, you shouldn't expect results, but they both did well. No, yeah, absolutely. Good game. Well played.
Very good game to start us off. And then there's Hodgie saying Constantinu on 0001 is even better. Game number 2, we're going with White Rose versus Asta Athletic. when I saw the Rose squad assembled, I thought much the same as I did last year. They look on paper a very, very good team, but when you really drill into it, I worry that they're going to be in the bottom or close to the bottom of the table competition than the top six, and that seems strange for a team that has the likes of Vieira in it to say, of course, but football isn't played on paper, and we know that Stee is, well, he's a maverick, isn't he? He's either going to be very, very good or unfathomably awful.
Yep, Edwards, that was the first game.
Yes, it was.
Bloody entertainment tonight.
Fyfie's back. It's a slow process, this.
I know. I'm looking forward to kick off at 1:30 in the Haggis game. Yeah, look, Stee's side, Stee's business. I think Stee, interestingly enough, over the summer he went from having like one of the best defenses in the league, in my opinion, from his squad last year. I think he's now got one of the best attacks. I hate this formation. I've said it time and time again. I hate that 1MC, 1AMC. I hate it. I hate it. But I think he's got a great attack. Despite the fact, like, looking at it on paper there, his defence he's assembled is decent. I think he's actually given up too much defensively to bolster his attack. Possibly fringe players. I actually think he would do well to go to the Dragons type shape and go with Vieira on his own as a DMC, because I think Vieira he's like an octopus. Like, he's got to do everything himself, and actually playing him next to someone's worthless. So if you're going to go for it, just let him have that space himself. And he might be around. Yeah.
Last time out, they lost to Fulchester, which was always going to happen with the verbal sparring that goes on between he and Ryan. In terms of the past meetings with Astor, Rose were unbeaten against today's visitors last year. Let's go then and have a look at what Mike has done. And I did a thread of what I thought to the squads when the 24s were produced. And without wishing to sound harsh, I said Alf had an elite squad that he managed to demote to a very good squad, which he then continued to disassemble. And I don't feel Mike's going to take Aston in a different direction. He's going to do weird and wonderful stuff with it, but it's not for me. For me personally, I think he's continued to weaken the squad.
Oh, his business. I think I said this in my transfer thread. I can't understand his business, honestly, but like, genuinely, I went to Mike the day that the window apparently opened and went, right, what can we do? And he went, I've done all my deals. He was pillaged like a village by Genghis Khan by about 5 different managers in the league. The thing is, he's made the decision to make these deals, though, and he also beat Haggis last time out. So who the fuck am I to judge him? He has, like, he's picked in, like, getting Keenan and Van Bommelen and Weston and stuff like that. There's some nice players there. Attacking wise, it is very much a fucking bonkers mix of players. But again, if you like him, play him. Like, I'm pretty sure I've played this formation on a home save with a sweeper arrow to DMC, and it's been pretty effective. But I know he doesn't play arrows because, I don't know, maybe one of his parents was killed by an arrow. I don't know.
One recurring theme that I've seen in 3 or 4 teams tonight, and I'm interested in your thoughts, between preferred foot and positional play in the team. And for this one, it's Wes Brown at left centre-back, despite being a DRC, and Taribo West at right centre-back, despite being a DLC.
I remember when I saw this lineup, I had a chat with someone about this and went, why is he playing West at... In fact, no, it was when he was playing us, he was playing West on the right-hand side. Now, it doesn't massively bother me if they're just DCs. If it's DLC, it seems a bit strange. As long as they've got good positioning, it shouldn't matter. As long as you've got like 19 or 20 for positioning, play them wherever they fucking want. Like, the whole this foot, that foot, whatever, great. Who cares?
At the end of the day, this is the elite. They should be able to kick a ball with both feet.
Yeah, ideally, you go either foot, happy days. If not, as long as they can kick them with one.
Absolutely.
You could also find Jeff Whitley, which was fucking bonkers. But
well, again, this is another thing. Seeing, like, I looked at that Dragons squad in the last game, and I saw four out of nowhere, 4 players with the FGN sign next to him. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
He's got some good reserves though. He's got a lot of players in his reserve, but he's not like he can't deal his reserves. Like he's got Pova, he's got Simic, he's useful. I'm sure Mexes will get a run out at some point. Soren's decent. Gajardo, he's got Fernando Torres sitting there as well. Someone's bid for Argo. Okay,
there's a bid in, yeah.
But yeah, look, he's got a lot of. Oh God, I bet I know who that is as well. That's Edwards with a cash deal. 100%. I'm calling it now. I don't need to know, but I'm betting that's what it is.
It doesn't. I'm not trying to ruin your Colombo style, player but it does say in the ticker.
No, because he came to Haggis asking for a centre back on a cash deal earlier in the week. But that's a cracking cash deal centre back.
So, having seen both squads, can I ask you and everyone in the chat for a score prediction, please?
Steve should win this 3-1, but it's savage, so I don't know because the man is voodoo. Voodoo savage.
Hashtag voodoo savage.
To start with, who's Thomas Locatelli? No ever heard of him? Not even his family. Oh,
he's one of the players I added to the draft last season.
He's going to bring on Van Bronckhorst, isn't he? Who's not a central midfielder.
But you could put Vieira up there.
Oh God! And I guess this is where Steve's point is with the formation he's got. He doesn't have the options. I like Guerrero. Yeah, Edwards. I did see the list of players. Yeah, there's that like the problem. And, like, I mean, I'm happy tonight. If anyone wants to discuss any Haggis players or anything, fine. If anyone wants any out-of-league signing recommendations, ask me. From a Haggis perspective, we've got 2 deals left, and we're still trying to work out whether we use them now and just take what we can get, or whether we hold on to it and wait for someone to fall away and then try and pillage them. And I don't think we'll be able to do either. But that's why we ain't doing reserve for reserve deals.
Ronnie Johnson is coming on with Vieira moving up to central midfield.
He hasn't got much option, has he? Short of going 5 DMCs, whichever.
I would be picking Van Bronckhorst over all of those players.
I don't like Van Bronckhorst. You know what? They've been winning the game, actually.
They have, and we've got to half-time. It's certainly not been one for the masses, though. It's not one for the neutral. This is one for the Greavesies of the world.
Oh, someone will be. Oh, Astor have only won 34% of headers. Who fucking cares? Like,
do you know what was superb about that? And these sort of things don't get commented on enough. So you've got quite a distinctive accent. I think it's fair to say. So you, in your distinctive accent, doing an interpretation stroke accent is brilliant. Absolutely superb when someone with an accent does a different accent.
I mean, Steve's ratings are a sea of beige, but with what he's got left on the bench, I don't know what he does.
Yes, it's like, not great.
You know what? He's the kind of team that I know. Someone signed Mario Stanic. FRC. He could do with a couple of guys who can play FRC, FLC, and just be able to chuck him in midfield or attack it. Just something a bit different. Fuck me, that's even. Oh God.
Question for you, and this is all to do with reputations, because again, in the interest of fairness, I threw Bridges in the mix when the whole thing got put together. When you're seeing an attacking partnership of Dennis Bergkamp and Michael Bridges, how is Filippo Inzaghi not starting?
Because Inzaghi's awful on this. He is. I don't rate him at all. And I know you're about to go, oh, well, back in my day in Swindon Devils, she came in and replaced Benza, like whatever. I don't like Inzaghi on
No,
it.
if I was going to do that, I would go, oh, in my day, Samuel Eto'o replaced Ruud van Nistelrooy and outscored him.
God. Yeah. In danger of this turning into spitting image. Yeah. Inzaghi just didn't for me. I quite like Bridges in the same way that we picked up Woodgate last year, because Woodgate's actually very good on the game, but no one seems to like him. And I know he gets injured every 2 minutes and he's made of chocolate, but he's good.
So, interesting change.
Central midfield.
Well, this is what I was going to say. So, Materazzi is coming off in sweeper for Eto'o. So, it's an attacking change, but then he's playing him in centre midfield.
Dan Salas is in his reserves, and I'm guessing on the fact that Afori Kwai has been injured, he might be of interest to you.
How did Inzaghi do last season?
As a short-term replacement.
12 appearances, 4 goals and 1 assist for Asta last year.
Offside 14 times a game. Dan, if you need a striker, Haggis have about 1 million. Just ask us. We can send one your way, probably.
And Steve said roll, so we will carry on and see how that tactical change. And there's Bridges with the goal on 48 minutes to give the away side the lead. And here come Asta again.
Oh, fucking Voodoo Savage.
If this ends 1-0, I want hashtag Voodoo Savage trending by the end of tomorrow, please.
I want his Twitter handle changed to hashtag Voodoo Savage.
So on the hour mark, Asta are winning 1-0. You've already commented that you don't think Steve has a lot on the bench. Does Santa Cruz or Van Bronckhorst make much of a difference here?
The thing is, I don't know what he does. Like, does he take off one of his centre backs and go 3 up front? Is the only thing that I can think of. Like, how
it seems strange to say, given that we're in game week 3, but how important is it to get the points on the board early? Like, should he be chasing the points, or should he be like saying, if I do go 1 at the back, I run the risk of conceding? I mean, I was very much of the opinion, if you're going to lose 1-0, you might as well lose 3-0.
Yeah, at this stage of the season, you just want points, so you might as well go hell for leather. And if after 6-7 games you're adrift, then if you go defensive and don't change anything and you're adrift after 7 games, you're fucked. Like, goal difference doesn't matter at this stage of the season; it matters at the other end. Mm-hmm. So that's tomorrow's Steve's problem. Today's Steve's problem is that
he's losing.
Asta.
No, I understand that completely.
But, yeah, he's just a little. He's gone. What, Santa Cruz for Fidden, 3 up top, GNev, DMR, CC Central. Yeah. I like that. Why not? You look at what Dragons did in the last game. They fucking threw everything at it. Like, might as well.
Yeah, like that. Kalads are like a fur nipple in there, says Ian. And Dan, I think thanking you for the offer, but saying Hussein is going to do the business.
Oh, God, I hate him. He's going to score the winner against us tonight as well. I hate Hussein.
As for Asta, they are winning. They've still got Inzaghi, Raymer, and the goalkeeper Butt on the bench. Bridges there, suffering with, actually putting in a bit of work rate.
He's probably going to bring on Inzaghi for fucking Guyana Cheddar or something, because Inzaghi's got some weird intrinsic thing that makes him a really good DMC. But no one else knows it because he's fucking voodooed it.
Hashtag Voodoo Savage.
It makes 0 sense to me.
00, isn't it?
But I have so much respect for it. I'm never going to stop slagging it off, but I have all the respect in the world for Voodoo Savage.
There we go. It's in the chat. Hashtag Voodoo Savage.
I know. It's incredible.
I would expect to see just a straight swap Bridges from Inzaghi just because of the condition. We're still half an hour to play, but it's all going quite well.
Conditions is bullshit. Unless you're starting a game and someone's below 80%, conditions shouldn't ever matter to you. Okay. If it does, again, do what you were going to do with the Fury fight or whatever it is. It's not even Fury. Oh, hello.
Tony! And it's 1 apiece! Tony has levelled things up. Right. Alephropoulos it was who parried the shot from distance
That's what you get for slapping your balls on the table and going, have it. If he now concedes the winner, I'm still not withdrawing that statement. But look, that's it. Just why not fucking go for it?
Exactly. Eto Abiati with a save. Gianna Cheddar picks it up. And now on the counter, Rose. Raul with a free kick, but Roy Keane intercepts into the final 10. Oh, but Bridges couldn't beat Lasisi. See, Lasisi played the back on his own a lot for Bostock. So you know he's capable.
As long as you've got someone who's quick and has got positioning of 19 or 20, you can play one at the back.
Kaladze picks it up, Vieira. Free kick awarded. Santa Cruz picks it up, but it's cleared. Bergkamp, Van Bommel. Still Van Bommel. Good slide tackle. Bridges! Oh, it's gone over. 3 minutes being added on. We're into those 3 now. And here come Rose. Luca Toni. Dede. Pizarro. Oh, but it's over the bar. And it looks like, yes, we have another draw. 1 apiece, but again, not a bad game.
Well, it was a good second half.
Yes.
If you can tell me anything that happened in the first half, I wouldn't believe you.
King got booked. And so did Lasisi.
Yeah, and there was an injury.
But yes, congratulations.
I would love to see Steve now go on this tear up of playing one at the back, chucking a load of things up front. Because he's got loads of good attackers. Why not just play them all and see what happens? I like it. Look at the ratings now. Ronnie Johnson's destroying things. Lasisi's kicked everything that's moved. Like, everyone's ratings have gone through the roof there. Vieira's got an 8 playing by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah.
And Wes Brown got man of the match.
Oh, of course he did. Keane's attempted 17. Jesus Christ.
17 tackles in one night.
I've attempted 27 tackles between them and made less than half of them. Look,
that might be something that Mike needs to look at.
Hashtag Voodoo Savage.
Get that hashtag trending.
I can't explain it.
Another enjoyable game. Another enjoyable game. Next, yes, let's do Walton Casuals versus Northern Burn. We're looking at the away side first, and it just shows how strong this squad is when Barry Ferguson isn't even on the bench.
So this is the point that I was trying to make when I was doing I'm sure people have realized this, but I'm going all conspiracy Bill here, right? What he has somehow managed to do is pull together not just an 11 that is better than everyone else's, but about an 18 that's better than anyone else's. If he suddenly decides mid-season, I'd really like Juan Sebastian Veron. He can turn around and go, right, Hodgie, I'm going to give you Joe Cole and Sammy Herpia. And I'll chuck in a third piece as well. I'll give you bloody Temudo. I would like Veron. He can put together a bid for anyone in the league without using a first choice player. Like, if Beckham doesn't do it for him, someone's going to give him, like, I'd tell you now, Haggis would give him something ridiculous for fucking Beckham. Like, he's somehow managed to, like, Kaiser Soze the entire fucking league, but he's first in the fucking... Why is anyone listening to him?
No, I agree. I've questioned many times why people allow him to decimate their squads and just make his Galacticos better.
He's a genius. It's sick logic. And why anyone listens to him, I'll never know, but it's genius.
It certainly is on his part.
He's gone out and picked up Saviola and Joe Cole and Beckham and Zelius, who was like one of the best players in the league last year. He got like George Atos would start for any side in the league other than maybe the side that has Giggs and the side that has maybe Zé Roberto. But George Atos would start for anyone else. And he's not even starting because he's got fucking Roberto Carlos, doesn't he?
So with me being the only
I'm just seeing the thing there. I have very much enjoyed his social media campaign
Yes.
about the Sigalko hatred. It's wonderful to watch.
Yes, and I intend to carry on with it. So, in the interest of fairness, as the only non-active member of the stream team, I have been testing the shit out of this save to guarantee the results that people say can't happen. And I'm delighted to say that Burn lineup, Shotis, Ayala, Montero, Carlos Elias, Contra, Jeremy's Beckham, Cole Kuehl, and he who must not be named, otherwise people... basically get offended if his name is even mentioned. So bench is wrong. Someone else saying the bench. Fucking hell. I am shit at this these days. Isn't I? One sec. I will find out. And I'm so careful with this because he says about the goalkeeper. Every single time I have to check the goalkeeper.
I have to, to be fair, I thought last year one of the weaker places would be goalkeeper, but Chiotis was fantastic for him. And yeah, it's like even picking up someone like Ayala. How often do you play a game and like 3 seasons in, Ayala's like the most expensive defender on the game? And he picked him up for what?
The subs bench isn't even close.
He picked him up for like Massimo Donati.
Hippia, Rusty.
Oh, it's head pickling.
I've done fucking terrible with this subs bench. It wasn't even close. This is what happens when I'm not engaged all the time. I just lose all track of what I'm doing with the subject. That should be wrong. That should fix it for you, Ian.
Right. Who we got? Is he playing casuals?
Yes.
Okay.
And last time out, as we saw earlier, they beat Dragons 3-1. Their track record on this save against casuals is good. 2-0 wins last season. And... again, possibly expecting something similar?
Yeah, probably. Okay. I think there might be a surprise in this game. I don't know why, but I think there might be. Is
it a surprise? Because casuals don't have a bad squad. Let's have a look at their team.
Burns a surprise now.
There's definitely a way of beating them.
Oh, I'm sure there is. In fact, yeah, I was having a chat about that to someone. But at the moment, the way that they're playing, if they've got Sigalko in the side, if you can beat them, it's a surprise. Because you've got to score at least 2, and then he's got like the fucking kaijus from that. What's that monster film? That film with the big giant monsters that people get in and use to. I'll remember it, but he's basically got them in defense. Anyway. Love this lineup. Yeah, I like this team a lot.
I mean, you mentioned Veron earlier, and there he is, ready to tear it up in the midfield.
Oh, Veron's so good. He's got 2 great wingers. Van der Vaart, not for me. He had a good 10 games for Tato last year and then did what he always did. Hersey starting is interesting. I don't know whether he's actually any good on this save because I can't get into the save. I just messaged the Super League account going, can you send me a screenshot of this person?
Which I did.
Yeah, Hersey looks really good for season 2. So, and he's basically not played. So that's great. He could be properly good because there's not many players that can do what he can do. Decent bench. The danger for him's injuries because it's not the deepest squad, but that first team's handy.
They do have the quality of Parnaby there.
There was very, very nearly a deal, which I can't remember the exact makeup of it, but it was Kutuzov and Hofland to Haggis for Okaronko and someone. I can't remember who it was. And I'm still kind of kicking myself we didn't do it. Because I like Kutuzov, and I think he's quite useful on this save.
Mm-hmm. So we got the black and orange derby this time round. Can I ask you for your prediction, please?
I'm going to say 3-2 casuals.
3-2.
Oh, God. Figo and Okaronko. Why the fuck didn't we do that?
Let's kick this one off. And if you've got any predictions, fire them through in the chat. We can flash them up.
God, I hate my life.
As Keane played a game where he wasn't booked yet, as Mike. Casual starting quickly, trying to catch Burn on the hop. and still trying to get at their visitors. Montero goes in the book.
Zambrotta.
I mean, that's what I'm telling
Good
him
game,
to do.
this. Not an awful lot of chances, but it's fun. This is where we look and it's got less chances than fucking White Rose and Astra at half time, hasn't it? This feels like Sigalco 47, doesn't it?
This feels like there's a red card coming. That's what this feels like. Fucking hell. There actually is less chances than in the White Rose game. That says to me that is a midfield battle.
Northern Burn have won 12% of their headers. I've now just got this image of every player on Northern Burn being 5'5".
You know those simulations where people have edited on FIFA and play the 11 midgets versus the 11 giants?
Yeah. Oh.
Has all the outside noise on got to Maxim's head this week? No. And the least said about that, the better, Tato, because we don't want to offend anybody. There's credit to the casuals. Tactically, they must have something right in the sense of they're restricting Burn. But they've not quite got the balance, have they?
Look, every game we've had so far, first half's been shite, second half's been dynamite. So I'm sticking by my 3-2. The grievesiest half of football I've ever seen.
Both managers are going as is till 60. There's a lot of yellow cards there.
Yeah.
Let's see how that plays out in the second half.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Sigalco. Now 57. That one.
And that's Cliver.
There is Cliver.
It's 1-0. Are you getting upset over Sigalco banter? That's to Ian. That's fine. I don't have to answer that one. 1-0 to the home side. Crucial goal. And you mentioned Cliver actually earlier in the episode saying that he got scoring. So this is big now for Hodgie to stake an early season claim and get some momentum.
I think he might go Cambiasso for Van der Vaart, and I think that'll be about it.
Try and get a bit more solid in midfield.
Why would you change any more than that?
Well, he's actually going Ronaldo for Hursti. He's going more attacking, looking for the goals. He smells blood. I like it. Good attacking change. Could you imagine Ronaldo and IRL? Could you imagine Ronaldo and Clivert together? It'd be ridiculous. This is the side I play my test saves, Hodgie.
This is the side I play my test saves, Hodgie.
Still the 5 yellow cards. Ayala on a 5, Zayaleus on a 5. They're in a battle here, Burn, and they need to sort this out a little bit.
No, this is where it gets interesting, because what we've seen from both games is managers who've made changes have got something out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Ian loves this shape and it's served him really well. I don't necessarily know what his plan B is.
Can you imagine Sylvester Turan together?
So yeah, I'm interested to see what he does here.
In the interest of fairness, I always thought Mikel Silvestre was quite an underrated defender because he was around of that time where there were some really good defenders. I thought Silvestre was actually a really good defender as well.
Yeah, he was decent. I mean, they must have played as left back and right back for France at one point.
Can you imagine Kewell and Sigalco playing together?
Imagine me and Toe Madeira playing on a beach.
Ian is keeping it as is. So he backs his team. Let's see if that faith is well founded. And it is a goal. And it's David Beckham playing on the left-hand side of midfield that scores it. 1 apiece with 20 minutes to go. Zambrotta coming forward. But Montero heads across clear. 15 minutes left to play.
Another astonishing victory for punditry there. Managers who make changes get results. Edwards does nothing. Immediate equaliser.
And Kewell picks it up.
I love doing
Contra, this. Soroczynski. Buffon rises, kicks it clear, goes out of play. 5 minutes to go.
Good game, this.
Yeah. And I think there's a late winner. And there's Jeremy.
The stats are going to look miserable, though. It's going to be like 3 shots to 2.
And MT puts it over the bar. Cole offside from MT's pass into injury time. Say Roberto. Kluivert. Oh, so let's get it. Ronaldo!
Wow!
He never meant it. But it's the winning goal. Surely, but here come Burn. Yellow card for Soroczynski. Professional foul. And there's the full-time whistle. Ronaldo in injury time. And Casuals beat Burn 2-1. Wow. Well, we like late drama. Burn shaded the second half.
Dang.
But Casuals, they get the 3 points.
2 shots on target and 2 goals.
Bibby's asking, did he mean to miss?
R9, the true Segalco. Oh, we've got North Korea have joined us.
Yeah, I've seen that as well with Madness.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a result for solid defensive work, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, what we got ratings wise? I'm guessing Casual's not good. I mean, Veron's done
nothing. Look at the cause rate, but then they haven't actually had to put in as many tackles as you'd expect.
No, it's a weird one. But then there wasn't that many chances. That's actually probably the worst game we've seen tonight, but we're acting like we've just seen the World Cup final all over again. Like
that's because Ronaldo scored a late winner.
Ronaldo. Yeah, look, fair play. I've just realised he's got Rab Douglas on the bench. What the fuck is going on? And then Contra gets man of the match. There won't be many times, if ever, that four of the back 5 for Burn. In fact, 5 of the back 6 for Burn have all got a 6. That'll have never happened.
As average as you're going to see a Northern Burn performance, and that includes a 9 rating.
That's astonishing. I have to say, and this is, I have no idea how much difference a captaincy actually makes. So Elias being captain is a fucking wild card. I love that. Like, he's the kind of guy.
Who would you expect it to be captain of this Burn side?
I just imagine Elias doing like lines of crystal meth and headbutting a wall before he goes out. He's an absolute head case. But I mean, inspiration comes in all shapes and sizes. Look, great result for Hodgie. Keeps up a decent start to the season. Burn are still up the top. They'll stay up the top. They'll be right in the mix. Maybe a little food for thought, but maybe not. Just a bad result. Now,
there is a player supposed to be getting demoted from Triple P, but I haven't seen that. I've had a message back yet.
I assume it's. Well, I was about to say it's Babos, but there's some.
So I'm just gonna drop someone who isn't in the squad.
Asamoah.
Let's put one Asamoah.
Yeah, drop.
I mean, you can always swap him back in anyway.
Oh, shit.
Melita. So if ever there was a game that could be described as a clash of styles, this is it. You've got Triple P and their don't give a fuck, smash mouth, all out attack, but never actually works mentality against Celtics. We are going to bore you into submission. Here is the get rid of him.
It's like Gregorian chanting versus Gogol Bordello.
So last time out, he was playing a 2-behind-1. However, they have signed Victorino this week, and he goes straight into the starting lineup behind Shevchenko and Brozek.
Great. I don't. I mean, Rob, have you ever actually used Victorino on a save before? That's what I'm interested to know. Like, Victorino, for me, I've used him a couple of times. I've never really had much with him. I don't really get him. There's a lot of 15s there. He's not very good, in my opinion. And he also signed Dean Richards and then gave away Makalele, who's actually quite useful. Like, that deal for me. But look, Rob does what Rob does. Like, in this, it's as frustrating. Of course he hasn't signed him. What Rob does is as frustrating as it is glorious. It is disgraceful for the league, but also everything about the league that I love. He is a complete and utter enigma. Yeah, and oh God.
I mean, that might tell you something.
I tried to get a player off him and was sent a list of instructions to carry out. And I sent him various photos. Like, at one stage, I sent him a Photoshop of, who was it? I'm going to need to look for it, and I might need to produce the evidence. So we'll come back to that. But yeah, astonishing man.
Celtics played Triple P 3 times last season and avoided defeat in all of those games. Let's have a look how the hosts line up. And it is
Edwards, I totally get your side of the deal. Getting Makalele as a third DMC is a very, very good move. I think it's a great move. I'm just amazed that you didn't have to give up more for something like that, because for me, Richards and Victorino are two guys that I don't think would have ever played. And Makalele, for me, he's not phenomenal, but he's very solid. I thought you would have had to give up more than that. But then you've got a good squad, so
I'm going to throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Despite calling, did I use the word disgraceful or disgusting about this Celtics team before the match came up? When you see it, it actually looks okay. You know, the thing for me is the subs bench is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could absolutely see him taking Trezeguet off and bringing on another midfielder. He'll do it at some point.
What was the one last year that worked? Was it Delivio or something came on randomly?
Yeah,
that scored and assisted in like 5 minutes.
Like, he's got, again, his back six is very, very good. I've said to him as well, I don't think he has enough in attack.
No, he absolutely. I mean, that is his attacking options in the squad, just there.
Yeah. He has no one else. But the question is, and look, we've all got guys who score goals from DMC. Like, there's loads of guys that score goals from DMC. You actually look at his squad and go, has he just about got enough options that if he was to suddenly go, right, I'm going to trade Gattuso to get someone better, he could get a really good attacker for that, but he'd still have, I mean, Takinardi did all right at the end of last year. He's got Albertini, he's got Holland. He might be able to do something like that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'll let you start the game and I'll tell you the various Photoshops that I did for Rob in order to try and sign not even a first-team player.
Before you find that evidence, just a score prediction, please.
2-1 PPP. I can't explain why.
2-1 PPP. And again, fire any predictions through in the chat so we know what you're thinking.
I was asked to send through a picture of a different farmyard on the hour every hour for the next 3 hours. Now, I was actually told that Campbell had to do it. So it wasn't happening. So he then said, come back with something realistic and a picture of Michael Fish holding a goat.
Yeah, that explains the comment here. Michael Fish holding a goat.
So we did that.
Oh, hang on, hold it up again. Let me just...
hold on, right, let's...
Why can't I? Oh, it's because I'm presenting. I can't put you on full screen.
Yeah, no, it's... So there is a picture. I mean, I'm happy to forward any of these. Well, I'm happy to forward most of these on Community. Michael Fish holding a goat. And then we had Kenneth Williams drinking a can of Spam.
Oh, hang on. Before we do anything else, I've realised Breezy's not even here. So if I remember right, Fiore's on the left, so he'll have to move over. Yeah, and then we put Albertini in centre mid.
Yeah. I mean, Fiore's going to get 6 either way, so it won't matter.
As we were.
Yeah. I then did... So, Kenneth Williams drinking a can of Spam.
What?
I'll see whether or not we can get it. You can sort of see Kenneth Williams and you can just see the can of Spam.
Wait, let's get to half-time and I'll show you what we can do. Right, we're at half-time. I can, just very quickly, I can remove this.
Right.
And I can
no
put
idea what's happening at the game. So we've got Kenneth Williams drinking a can of Spam.
There we go, solo layout. And let me get rid of the overlay as well. There we go. Kenneth Williams, nice.
Drinking a can of Spam. And then we had Jigsaw from the Saw franchise, but it's Timmy Mallet.
Can we see the Michael Fish one, please?
Yeah, we'll see the Michael Fish one. The contrast on that one isn't great, but there is a goat in his
There it
hand,
is, yeah, we can see it, yeah.
which appears to have the face of Saddam Hussein in it. I'm not quite sure why. And then Phil Oakey from the Human League, but he's a Bond girl.
Why?
Very, very niche. This, and then I finished it off with one that I cannot actually show on stream, but it was Sid James in a bukkake orgy with 5 Spice Girls and a cheeky girl. I can't show that one for legal reasons.
Right, let me make this look somewhat professional again by putting the overlay back in, putting that back in, taking you off solo. There we go. Right, we're at half time, and it is Celtics 0, Triple P 0.
I don't know what happened.
In my electric dreams tonight.
Yeah, we didn't get the player we wanted.
This might surprise, given what we said at the start, but the first half was actually a decent value compared to the others.
This formation is sneaky good. I've got a feeling it is. I think it's going to annoy people, but I think it might be quite handy.
Quick look at Celtics with Greasy not here. Lucio on a 9, but on a yellow card. Albertini has done a little bit since coming on for the injured Danielson.
Yeah.
Rob is here, however. Triple P,
yes.
Ambrosini 5.
You'll bring on Wellens. I mean, Emerson's playing really well because Emerson's really good. Candela, Salihamidzic, Rocky Jr., Georgie Costa, all pretty good players. Shevchenko's done nothing because, I mean, I don't understand why not. He's really
I want
good
Alan to get Super League minutes.
Victorino, I mean, again, Victorino, it's like, what the fuck's the point? To be fair, if you go with 1 behind 2, you might as well stick Brozek behind Smith and Shevchenko.
Rob has said Wellens on, but not who for. So, can I push
I'm guessing to Ambrosini.
I'm guessing to. Yeah, you can, Rob. You can do whatever you like. Let's go for it. Evening, Swanee. Remind me next time we have a lull in proceedings. I have two football-related questions for you.
Imagine having a lull in these proceedings. We've played about 2 games, and I'm just showing a picture of Phil Oakey photoshopped on a fucking girl. This is the nichest entertainment ever.
Probably not the professional look that the rest of the stream team were looking for. Swan says, I'm in the pub, evening Fyfie, Rox is on, sexual. Right, let's resume the action. See if we could get a goal in this game.
Oh, Shevchenko missed a chance.
Triple P are certainly more involved. Trezeguet goes in the book.
Trezeguet was at Celtics last year, wasn't he?
Yes. And paused it a minute or so slightly early, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's got to be Brozek back to AMC and Smith on for Victorino. And otherwise, you keep it as is. And you just go with that, don't you?
Do it. I like it, Rox. I like it. First football question while we wait for the time lag between here and Korea.
Yes.
Is it all Potter's fault?
Oh, fuck. No. And yes. But mostly no. It's not his fault. But I can't really see a way back for him at the moment.
Okay.
I think the danger is in the next 5 games, he could alienate the entire... Oh, and there's Shevchenko. Honestly, I'd take him up front for Chelsea at the moment.
I mean, of all the superstar strikers you had in the Abramovich era, he certainly wasn't the worst.
Oh, he was fucking Pele compared to what they've got at the moment.
Jens saying 50-50 him and that slut Hermine.
I have absolutely no idea. I was looking at it today, and Chelsea women beat Arsenal in the FA Cup, and I would honestly find some legal way to play Sam Kerr up front for Chelsea men's team, because she is better than any of the options they have for the centre forward role at the moment. She's phenomenally good.
I'm interested in your opinions because my older brother is a Chelsea fan, and I asked him exactly the same question after today's. Costa off. Rob, is it? He's got 3 minutes plus added time to defend the lead, and he is the sort of guy to say, "Okay, Roque Junior off, Dean Richards on, and put him up front."
You probably sub the sub here and take Smith off and bring Richards on.
Oh, Shevchenko's been booked, though.
Yeah, but you keep him on. He's scored. Why would you take him off? Drop Petit into defence. Fair enough.
No DM. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, Rock, sub the sub is the shout, says Ian. But Rob doesn't conform to those rules, and he looks like he's going to see the game out anyway. 94th minute, they come forward. Cmsl's been booked, and there's the final whistle. And Triple P win the game 1-0.
They will be dancing in very, very organised fashion to very moderated music in the streets of Pyongyang this evening.
They certainly will. And a very good game.
Yeah. I think what that game shows, Gravesy had a good first half. Mm-hmm. You kind of said it at the start. He doesn't have a game changer.
No.
And maybe that's where, if he goes behind, how's he going to outscore the opposition? Mm-hmm. But yeah, look, fair play to Rob. He's gone for that more. And that formation, it's kind of reminiscent of what, it's a little bit Dragons, it's a little bit Burn, it's a little bit Full Chester, what they're now doing. It's that wing-backs thing. Oh, God. I really hope that's not the strongest formation. But, I mean, look, his row of DMCs have been phenomenal for Celtics, but not a lot else. Rob's done really well there. Sally Amazic's a very handy player. Roque Jr. is probably underrated. I know that Campbell fucking hates him. And
I think he's underrated.
I can't remember why he hates him. But he's good. Like, again, he's one of these players that moves to Bayern Munich for 12 million in season 2 when you play in the game. And yeah, that was a really coherent performance. Other than Victorino, who'll probably never play again. Who cares?
Probably already up in front of the firing squad.
Aye. The row of DMCs there was decent, but not a lot else.
So who are you playing?
Gazelles.
So avoid Haggis Gazelles.
So it must be Tato versus...
Dimble's here. I've seen him, so we can play this. He asked for a late game, but I have seen his name. So let's carry on. Fulchester, under the new stroke old manager. Ryan back in charge and doing what Ryan does with 2 wins from 2. Was busy in the transfer market at the earliest opportunity. And here we go. This is the side he's gone with. He's decided, I believe the words were, I'm not going to change while it's working. So roll, please. And you can understand why.
Yeah. Look, he did some very, very good business. It's exactly the same way that he played at Bolton Phoenix, which worked. He won the title twice. The personnel are really, really good. Again, the deal that he got Zanetti for was ridiculous. Like, I know there's question marks about defence. I think Southgate's pretty good. He's a bit slow, but he's good. Oh no, he's not slow. He's actually quite quick on. How old's he on that? 32.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, I've seen him deteriorate massively season 1. But look, he's a very, very good defender. Yeah, look, he's going to be up there, isn't he? And you look at the players that aren't in his squad as well. Like Owen was surprisingly handy last year. Nikolai's decent. There's a few guys kicking about in his squad that are very handy.
I agree. Against Coast, equal record, 5 goals apiece in the 2 games. So we could be on for a potentially potentially good game here. Last time, obviously, we know they won, and it was that game against Rose. But let's not ignore the fact that the goalkeeper did get man of the match in that game.
Yeah.
As for Coast, again, what I like about Coast, they have a lot of players that I like. And I like that Dimble is having success with players that I like. It's obvious that anyone who watched my various tenures, I'm a big fan of Hofland. Obviously, I'm a massive fan of Brugink, these sorts of players. I mean, clearly I was I'm part Dutch and I didn't know the amount of Dutch players that I like on this game.
The early 2000s PSV vintage.
I said in my predictions thread that his squad as a whole doesn't look the strongest. There are some very, very good parts to it, but could they go one better than they did last year? I wasn't sure. What's your thoughts on it?
In a way, it's not a dissimilar squad to what we've got at Haggis. There's a lot of it's a case of he's got to find what 11 players work this year. And I think what was brilliant for him last year was he found the 11 players that worked and he ran with it, and it went phenomenally well. He's then done a few transfers and stuff. There's a case of finding the 11 that gel best, because this guy's like Kesman on a cash deal is potentially one of the deals of the season if you can get 8 goals out of him. But how do you play him? Because Anelka's phenomenally good. Like, how do you work that out? Stanic looks quality in this save. Is there a way to get him in? But then Ortega came in last year and did really, really well. He's got like Ivan Cordoba as a defender. I love him. I think he's great. I think you could get someone decent for him as well. Look, he's quick. He can he's got everything you want for a defender. You can get something good for him. Paredes did really well last year. There's a lot of good guys there that you'd look at and go, they're maybe not top tier, but they're good. And if they gel, they could be really good again. It's just a case of finding what 11 that is this year. I think he probably knows at least half of it. But, like season to season, there's one guy who's great one season, suddenly becomes terrible the next. You just need to find that player that works for it.
Okay. Let's have a prediction then, and we will kick this one off.
1-1.
1-1 in the studio. And Fulchester, it was looking for an early goal. They don't get it, and Coast begin to come forward themselves. And Nelka putting himself about a bit. We're seeing Ortega's name popping up as well. Brugink getting involved. Vogel now come forward. And there is the goal. And it's Henri on 14 minutes. Gives the home side the lead. Zanetti goes in the book.
Henri was a Bolton lad, wasn't he? Oh, 2-0.
And there's Vogel making it 2 for Coast.
Wow. Oh, nearly 3.
It was nearly 3. And nearly 3 again. And it wouldn't surprise you if this was 3 by half. There is the third. Volodenkov.
Wow.
His first ever goal for Coast. And Fulchester are getting ripped apart. They have offered next to nothing the away side, but that is because of the sheer dominance of the home team. Already getting applause in the studio. Look at those ratings. That's 3 players on a 9 at half time. Anelka's on a 9 without being one of the goal scorers.
Yep, 2 assists for Anelka.
What a team player that boy is.
There's conspiracy theories around what Dimble's done in building the database to end up with the most docile Anelka that anyone has ever seen. I mean, the man's about as threatening as a 3-day-old kitten on this game. But, look, brilliant performance. Maybe this is the 11 that work. And just that weird combination. Nothing's worked for Fulchester. I haven't got going. They've barely strung 2 passes together. Your one shots from your right back, who's also got a booking. What'd you do?
Well, Ryan did put, can Fyfie manage it? Charge. Yeah. I'm not making anything that's not an enforced change because I'm not. Last thing we need is any more conspiracy theories. Dimble's saying roll. So roll.
The one interesting thing for Fulchester,
Go on.
and look, it's only 3 games old, or at the end of this, it'll be 3 games for Fulchester. Is I don't think anyone, and well, I say that with a very short memory. Crespo and Vieri is potentially the most destructive strike force that I can remember someone having. Crespo hasn't scored yet, and he's been shit, which is a bit interesting.
Okay. Do you want to expand on that point? Or?
No, I don't know if you've seen it. I'm sure there's people in the chat who saw there was a thing last summer with NBA trades where there's a guy called Brian Windhorst who was talking about this random little trade that I think it was Utah made to New Jersey, and he sat there and went, "What's going on at Utah?" And just kind of talked around it. It's a hilarious video. So I'm going Windhorst right now.
Okay.
What's going on with Crespo?
I want to point out there are now 5 players on a 9 for Coast.
It's phenomenal. And I was, just before they scored the first goal, I was about to say, I'm not a massive fan of Oladenkov. And there's a couple of players in there that, I mean, I'm not a huge Milevsky fan either, to be honest with you. But look, this is a really, really good performance. It's great.
And Zanetti is off. Lovely.
So,
well, given that the game is over, I'm going to drop... Who's he got on the bench? I'm going to drop Nakata out there.
And put Prutton in.
No, I'm just going to leave it like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
No need to make changes. Ian saying bugger, we play Cosmos
next. That'll be a good game.
Dimble, you are allowed to make changes as there's a red card if you want to. Not that I expect you will. So just a quick fire, no thanks, and we'll play the remaining 10 minutes. While I wait for that, my second football-related question for you is as a fan of Chelsea, your thoughts on our new manager, Jody Morris?
Interesting guy. He's he done some cracking work with the youths at Chelsea and with the reserves. I want to say has he managed anywhere before?
No, he's always been other than the youth team, he was always Frank's assistant at Derby and at Chelsea. And
yeah, he's probably looking at it now, going, he needs to. If he's going to be a manager, he's got to start soon. I mean, he's got a decent rep. I imagine he'll take no shit. Yeah, I've always quite liked the way he's come across. Probably better relating to the players than someone like Lampard as well. So yeah, hopefully it does all right for you.
Fascinating insight into. I mean, he's not had. It's improving. He never had the best start, so we've now done 5 games, lost 3, won 2. We've won the last 2, but in his very first comments, he was asked about style of play, and he said, "Look, there's various things with regards to style of play." He said, for example, professional fouls. He's like, "I don't mind players getting yellow cards, but you have to get the right yellow cards. It's getting them in the right situations." His first game, Swindon player gets sent off after 8 minutes for punching someone in the face.
I love that. That's proper Alias. I mean, that's a great performance from East Coast.
Yes, Jens saying that's sensational.
Yeah.
There's not enough superlatives. To quote one of the phrases on this game, how many times you say the press are running out of superlatives?
And the thing is, if you were to be, let's say you were going to be ultra critical about that performance, you go 3 guys got 7s. He's got guys that could slot into all of those positions, no problem. Like, none of those positions are an issue for him. So, yeah. And, yeah, Fulchester, pretty non-existent performance, really.
But more importantly than that, we went into this week saying that that Fulchester and Burn were the only side to win their opening 2 games. Now they've both lost.
Yeah. Look, they're both still going to be up there.
Of course they are. But, this is only game week 3.
Aye. But yeah, great win for East Coast.
Congratulations to Dimble. That means we go to Bostock Swanley next.
Yes.
Now, as it stands, the only unbeaten side in the league. And this is how they line up. This makes me feel ill. Not that he's
Dyer's
there.
right wing back?
I like Scally, but he should be down here somewhere. He should not be here with this arrow.
What Dyer?
No, Scally.
Oh, it's the mouse.
Yeah. My mouse will never line up. Sorry.
Yeah, Scally as a central midfielder is head pickling. I'll give you that. I like Dyer as a right wing back. I actually really like Dyer in central midfield as well. I think, could you move Dyer to central midfield, Patsatsoglu to right wing back, and Scally?
Do you know what? I think I would. If you just moved all of those like in a round, I think it would balance really well.
I mean, is there even an argument to say? I know he's got Jorovic at the back. I'm not a huge fan of Jorovic. Could you put Patsatsoglu in central defence, play Gerrard central, and play Scally in centre if you want Dyer out wide? He's got a few options there. Like,
the Stanley squad is still very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, you've got Yepes and Maldini both aren't playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would take Yepes in a heartbeat. I haven't worked out how I can sell to Campbell that I'd like Hakan Mild, because we already have about 8 DMCs. And I don't think we really need another one. But again, just a nice piece. I mean, he'll get a red card within 2 seconds. But I like Hakan Mild. He's got, again, he's a little bit like Casuals. His first team is brilliant, down to probably the 15. And after that, for me, there's not a lot there. He's maybe slightly deeper. Oh, yeah, this is a Christian Poulsen moment. This is Scally hat-trick written all over it.
Last time out, they beat Coast 2-0. Robbie King, man of the match. Montella on the score sheet as well. Past meetings between the side, they've met 4 times and scored 9 goals apiece in those 4 games.
Sensational. That's what we want, isn't it?
It is indeed. Swan is also back from the pub, so good timing. As for Badgers, Agahawa on the orange injury. No Ficini, no Viduka, no Vlahovic after his goal at international level. Zenden as well. Rustico's an interesting one. A lot of people rate him. A lot of people claim to rate him, but he doesn't get played.
Oh, God, I heard this nauseating chat the other night where it's like, Rustico's criminally underrated. Like, I don't understand why more people haven't been. He's bang average. He's not that good. Like, I mean, for the central defend, I guess that's Badger's weak point, is centre back. That's where they could come unstuck, because the rest of the side that he's brought in are potentially really, really good.
Get Dominic in there.
Oh, God, no. Centre back is where he did a good job getting someone like Walter Samuel in. I don't think any of the centre backs that he's got there are the answer. He's one that actually could he get Cordoba from Cosmos for something?
Mm-hmm.
And that would then be, if you had Cordoba and Samuel at the back, I'd be sitting there going, this lot are all right.
Yeah.
DMC's good. He's done a good job getting Emerton in. Aymar's not, well, it's 2 games in, but Aymar's done nothing. I think he paid too much for Luis Enrique, but I get why he did.
He was unreal last year, Enrique.
Yeah, one of the best players in the league last year. Like, I know the average rating's there, but he got 12 goals in 21 games.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people did that. And he's got Van Nistelrooy up front. It should be a playoff side. It should be. But I just don't know.
I'm one of those who likes to look at the spine of a team to make those sort of statements. And the jury's out on Casillas. I know Ryan makes a good point whenever the debate about Casillas comes up, saying that over the course of the season, he will throw in howlers, but he's a big game player. But when you've got Samuel, Butt, Aymar, and Van Nistelrooy, that is a strong spine of a team. It would maybe be the AM line that I would worry about a little bit more. And when you look at what the other options are, arguably Agahauer is the best of the bunch. But so that's maybe where I would look as the weakness.
How many good AMCs actually are there?
Very true.
Because I don't think there are that many. And this is like, everyone says AMC's an overpowered position, everything like that. How many good AMCs actually are there? Because I can't think of many.
Very, very good point.
It's like, if you can get someone, it was kind of like a wee bit like us with Sava last year. Sava probably only averaged 7.1, but got 3 or 4 goals and was generally okay. It's like, that's about as useful as you're going to get at times, because there aren't many good ones. Tato saying he only cost me free. Free for Luis Enrique, I reckon you could have got someone a lot better for free. Just personally, I would have been touting Free around or putting him in getting something better than Enrique for him. But I also love the fact you got Enrique. It's a very clever deal. So I hate it, but I love it. Kind of how I feel about Tato in general. Let's play the game.
A prediction, please, sir.
I am going to say, I think Badgers are going to nick it.
Badgers to nick it. Penultimate game of the evening. Let's see if our illustrious co-commentator is correct.
Before we dick Gazelles 4-0 after I make a rogue one at the back change in the first 15 minutes.
Van Nistelrooy going close there, just over the bar. Baumer goes in the book.
Ooh,
I believe Badgers hit the upright, and the home side really firing in everything they can at the moment.
Imar's been prominent. He's at the woodwork now.
Swanley under a little bit of pressure here.
Ooh, might smell a wee sucker punch here.
And Johnson, how's he missed?
Oh, of course, Oliver Kahn's playing. Jesus, that opening game where he made like 9 saves. Morientes had about 14 shots at goal. Oh, painful.
And there's a red card. Aymar is off. Wow.
Oh, good God. Well, you don't change it. That shape works.
But you were only saying about the gap between DM and AM. You don't like it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to completely destroy that when you see the Haggis tactic. You know, the thing is, it's having no one between DMC and AMC. He's got the wingers at least. But it's that whole, if you've got a line of DMCs, then nothing, then AMCs don't like it.
Joey just getting a diagonal, and that's the only alteration. Swan has his red card.
Jens, if we're 3-0 up at halftime, I'm going 1 at the back. It's happening.
Yes, Mr. Swan, if you'd like to make any tactical alterations to respond to the red card, you are more than welcome.
I don't think you will at the moment. You play it to half. Well, it's basically half time, and then you assess. Do you just do what he was doing and stick Baumann, stick Dyer up to midfield? Probably the logical thing to do. Put Carlos Jackson a big bin. I mean, that would be very logical.
Not a Jacques fan.
Oh, fuck that guy.
That's not what I asked. I asked if you were a fan.
I don't get it. I don't get Carlos Jackson. I don't get it.
Nothing through from... He's probably got us on mute and doesn't know that I'm asking if he wants to change anything. We will... there we go.
He said nothing for me. And then it's going to be half time. Oh, Casillas saves the free kick. Said misses a header. And
at the other end, Badgers. No, unfortunate.
Kahn makes his 14th save of the half.
Another excellent half of chances for both sides. I'm expecting good ratings for the goalkeepers because they've both been busy.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the home side first. As Casillas doing well. Only the sent off Pablo Aymar rating below a 7 for the home side. Nothing there really in terms of conditional worries. Swan already saying crack on without even seeing his stats, as is Tato now. So just very quickly flash them up and let's carry on.
If you're Tato, you're raging about that red card because you absolutely had that game until he was sent off. I mean, you might still have it. It's not dead, but it's a lot more difficult now.
We pause the game. 64 minutes, still 0-0. Look at Ruud van Nistelrooy. leading by example with that 9 rating. And Kamuna, the man who got mentioned in the comments when we were discussing the centre-back options, also excelling this evening. Nicky Butt on a yellow. Does he run the risk? Again, conditionally, I know you're not a fan and Tato's not a fan, so I don't know why I bothered clicking it, but some people like to know.
It's like Kamuna's okay. This is probably a sweeping generalization. I don't really like any of the Egyptian players that people sign. I don't like Saeed. I don't like Riyadh. I don't like any of them. I don't rate them.
So Switchowski coming off.
Oh, love this. Urze's coming on. Big fan of Urze's.
Enrique in behind, the rest can stay, please. Yeah. Lovely, thank you. And Swanee has said, move wing backs to the wing. Can't remember. Sub anyone on a 6 can come off.
Right. Does that mean that he's going 1 at the back? Because Onshaw's on a 6.
Well, there's no defender on the bench. Although Patsazoglu could just drop back.
Do you bring on Gerrard and stick Gerrard in alongside Scally and go 1 at the back? Come on, Swan.
No. I imagine he'll be doing this.
Come on, Swanee. Come on, Swanee.
Oh, arrows all the way up.
Yeah. Come on, Swanee. 1 at the back.
I've prepared Gerrard.
Right back if you don't, Swanee. Steve did it.
I've prepared Gerrard with... no, that's fine. So Patsazoglu drops back. Gerrard comes on to partner Saeed in holding midfield. Let's see how this plays out.
Can's on a 9 again. He must be averaging about an 11 this season. The man saved more this year than a professional lifeguard. Fucking hell.
Enrique, but it goes wide.
Oh,
into the final 10 minutes. Emerton picks up loose ball when now Saeed has it. And Montella, Jacques, Dyer! Casillas with the save. Out for a corner. Van Nistelrooy heading it clear. Johnson now 20 yards out. But Khan takes a quick goal kick. Enrique Lopez, but Khan catches the ball. His distribution's poor again, though.
Seems like Badgers have got a little
Dyer.
Bit more.
Jacques, Casillas pushes it away, and Kamuna is able to complete the clearance. But here come the away side again, and it's Kieran Dyer causing carnage on that right-hand side at the end of the game. Montella forces another save. Dyer picks it up yet again. Saeed, Gerrard, Montella, surely Dyer, one of them. Still can't get it past Casillas. And now here come the home side. It's a yellow card for Enrique into injury time. Van Nistelrooy, Enrique. Back to Van Nistelrooy, and there's the goal! It's Van Nistelrooy in injury time. Oh, it's been ruled out! Oh. Emerton, of all people, was offside. And there's the final whistle.
Tato had literally just put a comment saying, fuck's sake, my games are well boring. We go again. Well played, Swano. And then Van Nistelrooy had that goal disallowed. And I thought he was about to go. I was about to absolutely rip through him. Oof.
Oh, stunning stuff. Emerton being offside. Look at that. 24 attempts between them.
It didn't feel like Bostock had more chances. Because that's...
Well, they had a lot of... What they did have a lot of was like Dyer forces a save, Montella on the rebound.
Yeah. But Badgers, by that logic, only had 2 chances in the second half. And it felt like they had a lot more. I still kind of... If IMR doesn't get carded, Badgers win that game, I think.
Swanee apologising for his side's neutral. Let's have a look at the home side first. Casillas, 9. Van Nistelrooy also on a 9. Yet neither getting man of the match. I think you're right. If they had 11v11, they probably assert a little bit more dominance, but it certainly made the game a fun ending.
Yeah. It was a good 0-0.
I haven't fully read it. I saw it while I was preparing the teams earlier. I don't know if you have, sir, but Swan, in the current theme of Super League managers as Freds, Swan's done Super League managers as cheaters.
Oh, brilliant thread. Majestic.
If you haven't seen it, would you recommend people go and have a look?
Oh, 100%. Hashtag Voodoo Savage.
So Casillas and Vanessa are getting a 9, but not man of the match because Patsazoglu, who dropped back into centre back, of course, he does pick up the award. Gerard K. Marnie tried to have a bit of an influence. Tato also apologising. Sorry for being boring. I'm trying. Zero conceded his class. Build on it.
Yeah,
all
but he's a
success
shite
built on
bag.
solid.
Because I said shite bag if you don't go one at the back, and he didn't do it, so he's a shite bag.
So we have yet another draw this evening, but again, another entertaining game and another bit of late drama, which brings us to our conclusion. And Haggis entertaining the Gazelles who are without Galka. He is suspended for tonight. And here is the season 13 game week 3 formation. Interesting to see, again, the development of this side. Bearing in mind they've had a transfer window, so many of these. In fact, I think 10 of this starting 11. No, 9 of this starting 11 were at the side last year.
Yeah, Seedorf's come in and Nikiforenko's come in. No, wait, and Agat's come in.
No, Seedorf was already there.
No, he wasn't. He was at Fulchester.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Seedorf and Nedved.
Maybe he's changed it more than I thought.
Agat went for someone because, again, that was the one thing that held up the potential East Coast deal. Ian wanted Agat and Hoffland rather than Kutuzov, and then Agat went, and then we couldn't get that deal over the line, and it's still haunting me in my dreams. And then he got Nikiforenko as well.
Oh, Seedorf was at Gazelles at the end of the last iteration, I think. That's
right.
Possibly where I'm getting confused. Nikiforenko is definitely new. I want to say Hussein's new this year.
Hussein came in from White Rose.
And Arca was always there, but he's now got a first team place.
Yeah. We swapped Hussein for Donny at the start of last season.
Last time out, they lost to Walton Casuals. Their past meetings against Haggis, it doesn't make great reading. Look how the most amount of times that any side has played each other tonight, and just the one win for Haggis. However, that was in this season's Cmsl Cup.
That was in the cup where Duggan played the wrong formation. And he still won. We were like, oh, brilliant.
So I can see the enthusiasm draining out of your face here.
They've got a good side. He picks up players that other people don't really want. The thing, like Seedorf, Rivaldo were obviously big names at the time. I think everyone who's signed them on home saves probably has an issue with them because they're not as brilliant as they were in real life.
Yeah,
but they're still good players, so he gets them for bugger all. I wouldn't have swapped Nedved. I thought it was odd that Nedved went out for Seedorf. But, yeah, fair enough. He's taking a punt on Nikiforenko, where I don't think many other people would. Fair enough. Like, he's taken some players that are a lot of people would say are average, and he's made them very good. And then he's got very, very good back three.
Yes. And that is what his success will be built on.
Yeah. Kivu, Uliano, and Bartes. And Kivu will just develop like a monster, man.
I completely agree. I'm a big, big fan. Again, another player.
He's actually not as good as I thought he might be. But
I feel exactly the same. But again, on that earlier theme, I know he isn't Dutch, but he starts in Holland, and another player that I'm a big fan of.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Again, similar, one criticism I would have, similar to what I said about Greavesy, his subs bench is lacking.
Yeah, I think the difference with him, though, is he's got...
Like Rivaldo and Nikiforenko already on the pitch. If you were
desperate, you could push Agat up, you could push Arca up, you could push all the midfield up. Nikiforenko could go up front. Mendieta could play in AMC. The players he's got are very, very versatile. It's like the opposite of Steve.
Yeah.
Right.
So Haggis are without the injured gigs, and Mendes is also suspended. You were talking about your DM line. You've got 3 in there, including so Michelini was the revelation last year. You have 2 new players in there this year, Donny and So you mentioned as well the reserve swaps. Deisler has come up, as has Neuville. Neuville got a hat-trick in the reserves midweek and has
Neuville's
been
got like 7 in 3 games. Or
6
6 in 3 games. So neither me or Ian like him. But he scored 6 in 3 games. So you kind of have to play him because we haven't scored a goal. Scholes goes to AMC because Sav hasn't really done it yet. Scholes has been really good for us, probably a late, astonishingly good signing. Was good last year. Yeah, like it's just been really, really good. There's not many guys who play MC in the league who've been as consistent as him. Donny comes in on the left. Giggs is now down to yellow injured, which is good because he's obviously a big miss, but like Donny a lot. Deisler on the right, cash deal from Gazelles actually, just because we haven't nailed down who's going to play on the right. Figo's only good off the bench, and then we've got my home save DMC line, which if this was a home save, they'd all be averaging 8.5. Because this is a Super League and because we're playing Gazelles, I expect 2 5s and maybe a 7.
Well, let's find out. Last time out, you had the 1-0 defeat to Dennis Bergkamp's goal away at Astor.
Yeah. Everything that went wrong could have gone wrong in that game. So we've now picked Oliver Neuville. Make of that what you will.
As you're involved, I won't ask for a prediction. We kick off the final game of tonight. And Haggis, only 2 minutes in, but already dominating possession, trying to create chances, set pieces as well. Oh, it's off the crossbar. And it's a yellow card. Another set piece. Plenty of set pieces for the home side. Another yellow card. And Arca goes off injured after just 17 minutes. Have we seen Dan in the chat this evening? I think he was on early doors, but I've not seen him for a while, I don't think. We'll give him a minute just in case he is watching. If not, for me, the obvious change would be to bring Phil Neville on straight swap.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he could play on the left. I was about to say, how the hell is he going to cover that?
Well, had he not, then Rivaldo would have been going out there.
He said Neville.
Oh, there he is. Evening, Dan. For me, Rivaldo would have been going out there and Rui Costa coming on.
Interesting start, though.
Continue on. Again, you just need to score that goal.
Oh, God. 1 brings 2. 1 brings 2. Think of the old cricket parlance.
And there is Scholes on 26 minutes to give Haggis a much-needed goal and a deserved, in my opinion, lead. And still they come forward looking for more.
I would give
they want a penalty not given.
Ooh. I would give a lot of stuff to have Mendieta back at Haggis. He's top 5 on the game for me. I love Mendieta.
Half-time, you've been the dominant side. Just the 1 goal to show for it thus far.
Yeah.
You must be quite pleased with those stats, though.
Yeah, very pleased. We're going 1 at the back. I'm making a statement here.
And Deisler on a 9.
Of course he's the answer. Obviously.
Well, you ask Ryan about Deisler. He won the Super League with him.
I love Deisler. I think he's one of all of the German players on the game all have a massive flaw in them. Like, they're all criminally bad because at that stage, well, there was obviously that rivalry. All of the German players are deliberately bad. I think they're all about 5% worse than they were in real life.
Right.
But the Deisler's one who's actually okay.
I'm just going to flash the Gazelle stats up so Dan can have a look at what he would like to do. And Martin's still watching as well. Obviously, he's gone back to being Gazelle's chief cheerleader over the course of this week, leaving the leadership group behind. So you've had a chance to have a look at your stats. You want to make your changes while Dan has a look at his?
Oh, he's just done his changes. Do his changes first, and then we'll do mine.
So Rui Costa for Rivaldo, Arrow on Nicky. Lovely.
Campbell is going to be a raging when he watches this. When I chop 3 points away. Right. We are going. Could you very quickly click on Woodgate and then click on Ferdinand for me? I just need to get in my head what I've got here. Right. Okay, what's Ferdinand look like? Right. I'm going to gamble, take Ferdinand off, and bring on Figo. Chuck Figo on the left instead of Donny. And chuck Donny in the centre of midfield. And are you allowed to do player instructions?
Well, I allowed it, yeah.
Can you left click on Donny?
Right click on Donny.
Right, yeah, right click on him. And can't bloody hell. Go marking zonal and turn on everything other than hold up ball. Yeah, that'll do. Perfect. And put a little arrow on him.
Oh, sorry.
If that's
yeah.
all right. Stick a little arrow forward on him. Perfect. Right. Let's play darts.
Let's resume the action.
He's going to be so angry.
That's a red card for DiBiagio. And wow, I mean, again, look at this for me. Just dropping Mendieta back.
3 points against 10 men. This is glorious. This could finish 3 or 4.
Martin doing a little face emoji. I'm not sure if that's to the red card or if there's a slight delay and he's doing it to the player instructions.
Can go wrong, will go wrong.
Yes.
This is one at the back. This is chaos.
Murphy's Law. Mendieta is dropping back. As it's a red card, you're allowed to make any tactical alterations you'd like?
Nah, stick as is. Stick till 60.
Stick to 60. Lovely, thank you. 2 games in a row, says Dan, lost all our luck. Bad luck follows Gazelles this season. Reds injuries to all of it. Fyfie.
You haven't lost yet. You're going to lose, but you haven't lost yet.
With the extra man, they continue the dominance.
Get the second, please. Get a second.
Oh, and the 10 men go close. Vesterveld with a save as we pause it on 62 minutes.
Let's get
Woodgate off for Shearer and go 3 up top.
I'm going to say let's get Shearer on for Neuville. And how's Figo done? Figo's got a 7. He's inexplicably captain. That was a fucking weird decision.
That's because Ferdinand went off and the game picked him as captain.
Oh, of course it did. Take that off Figo and give it to Michelini.
Not Shearer.
Let's have a respectable man in charge of this side. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Here we fucking go.
And Dan, anything you'd like to do here? Only Vargas as an outfield option. Martin said, I hate the fact that Vesterveld has been so unrealistically competent in this save.
Oh, how fucking dare he? How fucking dare he?
And Dan keeping it as is.
To be fair, it was a surprise to us because I actually quite like Hedman and thought he would be decent. But again, another one that Ian... I think Ian... Was there a playoff incident? And there's Shearer.
Shearer makes it 2.
Gets in. Was there a playoff incident involving Haggis and Hedman? Was there like a 4-0 collapse involving Hedman? And Ian's never forgiven him, despite the fact it's like 3 saves ago. Figo, Rossini, oh, for God's sake. The big glute can't score.
A 2-0 win for Haggis after 15 shots on goal. Look it out. I mean, you'll take the win, of course, but I'm guessing you're looking at that thinking we maybe could have scored 1 or 2 more.
I will take the win and shove it up everyone else in the league's arse, other than Dan, because that is the first time we've beaten Gazelles in a meaningful game.
Let's have a look at your stats.
But the rest of it,
and it is Super Seb Deisler.
Right.
10 out of 10 rating.
Just look at the DMC line. Michelini, Gomez, Santos. The rest of the league will have those 3 names running through their heads tonight.
Well, hang on. Now, I'm not discrediting the fact that they've done very well tonight, but let's just remember, there was a midfield free line that were against Nicky Forenko on his own. And a bad Nicky Forenko as well.
How is that my problem?
No, I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just saying don't wax lyrical when they didn't really have much in the way in competition.
I will wax as lyrical as I fucking want. I've just got 3 points here. Yes, me. I tried to sabotage this by going one at the back. Woodgate's got a fucking 9. No one wanted Woodgate last year. We've picked him up. He's now the best defender in the league. Santos, Gomez, and Michelini, pay whatever you want for them. You ain't having them. Deisler is bloody puss gas. Look, even the sub Figo is rubbish unless he's on the bench. So Figo will never start a game, but he'll come off the bench in every single one. It's a glorious win for Haggis. It's a glorious night for the league. One at the back's here to stay. Fuck you all.
Seedorf doing exactly what Seedorf's been known to do, and that's not much. Nicky Franco and Hussein isn't working. But then that's because they did come up the Man Mountains that was the Haggis DM line.
Agat was really good.
Agat does look good, yeah.
He's a handy player.
And Kivu tried his best and put in a very respectable
bloody hell, for a centre-back to put in 18 tackles. I mean, I thought Nesta put in, 15?
Yeah.
You don't see a centre-back putting in that many. It's normally a DMC.
But congratulations to yourself and to Ian and for the win for Haggis. As that concludes tonight's entertainment. A quick look at the classified results. We have Badgers 0, Swanley 0, East Coast beating Fulchester 3-0, Haggis, as we just saw, beating Gazelles 2-0, Vikings 2, Dragons 2, Celtics 0, Triple P 1, Casuals 2, Burn 1, and Rose 1, Astor 1. Leaves the league looking like this. We have a 4-way tie after 3 games. Burn, Coast, Casuals, and Fulchester all on 6 points. Swanley remain unbeaten on 5. How are they unbeaten in 3 games, scored 2, conceded none? What the fuck is going on?
Haggis, got a very, very good back 6 or 7.
Haggis up to 6th. Scored 2, conceded. Fuck yeah. Shit league this is. No goals.
1 at the back. It just needs to be 1 at the back. Dragons at the bottom means nothing. None of this means anything.
None of this means absolutely anything. I mean, even if I click on this, it means absolutely nothing at this stage, but I know people like to see it. Vieri, the top goal scorer in the league, alongside Cliver on 3 goals, because we don't mention the other one. Shevchenko, Carlos, Anelka, and Decor all top of the assists on 2, as I say. It means absolutely nothing at this stage. But I've enjoyed myself. And I hope you have too, sir.
Mate, it is like Vienna. It means nothing to me. Hey! Look, it's been fun. We have very much dragged all the blood out of this stone tonight. I very much enjoyed it. And yeah, frankly, everything I said about Burn and Fulchester was nonsense. I'm going to take over Haggis and play 1 at the back every week, win every game 7-0, and obliterate this game.
I look forward to seeing that happen. But for now, I will see you again in 2 weeks' time. The next show will be... they do Wednesdays now, don't they? I'm so out of touch with this. I believe it will be Wednesday. And I believe Wednesdays is Dimble. So Dimble...
Yes, it will be. It will be the first Dimble, and then
first Dimble show. But yes, I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Rox will probably see you again in 2 months. We've been the Super League on Sunday. I now need to remember that the rules state from the new leadership team, I need to stay logged in and get the packs out for everyone. So that's what I'm going to do now. So from HQ, good night.
Yay for admin.